Hey guys, Ubersweet here. Today we're looking at the best sniping spots on woods. These are good places to check as you're playing woods, and it's also a good place to go if you have sniping quests or killing scavs quests or anything like that. Not doing these in any particular order, just gonna go one by one. This first spot we're looking at is next to Scav House. It's a good spot to get shots on scavs. It's quite risky though because it's a common spot that players will check. Next we're going to move towards the shore. Looking back towards the fence, you'll see a hill. This is a common spot where campers usually sit waiting for players to run towards the exit. Personally, I don't like this spot, but it's a good spot to check for exit campers or anything like that. Typically, you won't encounter any scavs back here, so it's fairly safe, and you do have a drop on the next spot we're going to check, and also you can check the spot that we just looked at before this. Next, we're going to start from the same spot, and we're going to run towards this little hill with rocks on it. It's a very common spot for campers to sit. Once again, it's not a spot that I like to sit at, but I always check it as I'm moving towards this side of the map. Next, we're going to go to the hill next to Scope Shack. This is a pretty long hill. A lot of people snipe from it. It gives you a good view of different areas. However, it does expose you from a lot of different directions. So as you can see here, it gives you a view all the way from Scav House, which is down there, all the way through the forest here, up to Bunker Overlook. Running down further along the hill, you'll be able to see Checkpoint, and also the Double Loot Hill. Next we're going to look at Bunker Overlook. It's a fairly good place to snipe from, but it does make you very exposed. Some people like to sit down here along the bottom, or if you want to go for something more risky, you can climb on top of the hill. Scav House is a bit far off in the distance, but it's possible to pick off scavs from there. Next we'll look at the hill across the road. This one is a bit trickier to get up on. As you can see, not everyone makes it on their first attempt. This one gives you a bit more cover and is a bit more unexpected. The fact that you can get up here is also not as obvious. This is also a good spot if you're trying to do the 3 mosin kills in one match, especially if the servers are crowded with a lot of people. Next we'll go to Sniper Rock, or Dickhead Rock as some people call it. The spot is right next to the lumber mill. It's very high traffic and very risky, but you can definitely get some good kills from here. Next we're gonna jump over to another rock by lumber. This rock is not as popular, and I've personally always gotten shot when I try to sit here. However, it is good to know about, as it's a good spot to check if you're playing on woods. Getting up can be a little bit tricky, but as long as you look for this little edge here, you should be able to jump up fairly easily. Next spot we're looking at is Beach Rock. It's a fairly common place for people to sit. I personally don't like it, but it's good to know about. Next we'll head over to the other side of shore. This is my favorite spot, as it gives you a lot of cover and you typically encounter a few players by sitting here. You will have scavs that walk around behind you, but they won't aggro as long as you're sitting down here in this ditch. There's also quests out here on the shore that PMCs will have to do. And usually people try to sneak up on you, so it's easy to get kills from PMCs from behind as well. Next we'll go a little bit further in from the shore. There's a rock here, which is a very common spot for people to snipe from. This spot gives you a decent overview over lumber, and you can also look all the way back to Sniper's Rock that we looked at from earlier. Next we're going to look at a spot on Mill Ridge. This is very close to lumber. It's a very risky spot, but it's where I've had the most luck when I need PMC kills. What I like to do is go back to this rock right here and just lay on top of it. You'll also have Scab Boss who will spawn right here. But laying on top of this rock, most people will not see you, and Scab Boss has trouble shooting you. I don't know why, but that's how it works. So it's an easy place to get kills from, and people don't expect you to be there. The negative thing with this spot is your back is very exposed, so you always have to be listening for anyone coming up behind you or someone sniping from the hill up above. And that's the next spot we're going to look at. So this is called Mountain Ridge. It's kind of hard to tell where I am now, but there's a little tent next to me here, and you have this huge mountain with the mountain ridge going out, and we're just going to run on top of that and sit up there and snipe. This is a great spot to go to early game. There's always a scav that's going to spawn on top of that mountain right there, and that's a free scav kill if that's what you're looking for. Now you're going to be very exposed up here, so I like to jump over on this side, which will cover my back so I'm not exposed from all angles. There's even a little gap here that you can crawl into, which will give you even more cover. Next we're going to look at Plague Spine. This is a rock right next to the railroad that goes to the factory. Once again, you're going to be very exposed here, but it does give you a good overview of the open fields and anyone going to factory. And last but not least, we're going to look at my favorite long-range sniping spot. Back here in the corner of the map is an awesome place to go if you have like a 6x scope, for example, and you want to get long-range snipes. We start over by the RUAF roadblock, and if we run over to this rock here, we'll have a full view over the entire field here. Now if we move down a little bit more towards the shore, we'll have a full view over lumber, and here we can also see Sniper's Rock. Now right now I have a lot of fog, so hopefully when you sit here and snipe, you'll have a lot less fog, and then it's much easier to see across the map. You can play around with different angles here. There's a lot of different places to hide, but it's a great spot to get like 400-meter sniping shots. I personally don't like to sit here, but it's a good spot to check if you're moving through the area or trying to exit via RUAF roadblock. If you move down a bit on the rocks here on the side, you'll be able to see all the way to the other side across the lake. So it's a good place to get shots early game. That's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you like my videos, and remember to check me out on Twitch.